freezing. Fan service, violence, harem. Worth watching? I'm about to let you know. Let's go. So, what's up, guys? Insane Gamefreak here to bring you another anime review. Yes, it's a little late. I know. Shut the fuck up. I know. I said quiet, you. Okay. So, anyways, this is the review for Freezing. It's well, technically, what is it? A winter 2011 anime, and it's about 12 episodes with an OVA. So technically 13 in all. It's getting a license. It got licensed by Funimation, so we're gonna get a dub, I think, sometime either near the end of this year or next year, if I recall right. And let's just get into a basic thoughts. You heard my halfway impression a while back. Let's give it a full fucking review. So, to give you a basic plot of what we're dealing with is we're dealing with some type of, pretty much it's one of those war-based kind of shows where it's like, oh, in this time and in this world, things have gone wrong. We're fighting these such and such creatures, and the only people who can stop them are teenage pubescent girls who have these ridiculous powers granted by the same type of power that the creatures they're fighting are made of. These things are called Novas. The girls are called Pandora. Apparently only girls can be Pandoras. There are no guy Pandoras. They're all fucking girls, and the guys are said to be limiters. The girls being Pandoras have these things called stigma on the back of their backs. So depending on how good or how mature they are, they have more than one stigma, a last amount of stigma, or maybe just like fucking 2 or 3. Pretty much, I'm assuming being Pandoras, it's weird because these things on their backs allow them to have special abilities and to use their stigma, the full ability to use different types of modes, to use different abilities that each of them have. Volt weapons and fucking Pandora mode and axe cells and all that other ridiculous shit. So the whole basis of the story is surrounding that. There are schools around the country teaching these kids and setting them up so they will be able to fight these wars against the Nova. The thing is that apparently the guys and the girls have to hook up and create what is called a rainbow set. A rainbow set is pretty much when a guy and girl hook up. It seems like the girl's always about a year older than the guy. So you're gonna hear a lot of that senpai shit in this anime. This is for the people who care, mind you. So I guess let's talk about the main fucking characters we have. We have Ayoi Kazuya, who is the male protagonist. We have Satellizor L. Bridget, who is the leading female, and then we have some supporting cast. So just name a few. We got Lana Lynchin, who is I guess the best way to put it is a part of the quote-unquote harem in the series. You have Ganes Roland, which is the first girl you see Bridget fight, and her limiter, who is Arthur Krypton. And then you have a whole bunch of other ones that, honestly, they're important, but it doesn't fucking matter because you never see them in the fucking show. So we're just gonna stick it to them. To give you a little bit of a backstory on both characters, Ayoi Kazuya has an older sister. His older sister is known for being this badass. She saved a lot of the fucking Pandoras when she was still running. And it just so happens that she dies protecting all the other girls. This was a few years ago. So I guess in that spirit, Ayoi Kazuya decides to come to the school to I guess, and quote unquote, I guess you could say, follow into his sister's footsteps. So pretty much the first episode kind of goes around where he's visiting the campus, he's checking out everything, he's looking at all the stuff, they're explaining all this crap I've already explained to you before. It's all good, everything's fine. And then we are introduced to Bridget. We're also introduced to Ganesa, because those two just happen to be fighting while this is currently happening. Now, running, just the tutors, not the tutors, but the two guys that are guiding him around, they happen to run into them while they're about to get into this fight. And we find out one of the most annoying things that actually becomes a reoccurring thing with Aoi Kazuya. He has a really fucking bad sister complex. Now, it's not that reoccurring, but it recurs twice, and the 2 times it reoccurs, it ticks me off. But yeah, he has a sister complex. And let's just put it very simply. His sister complex fucks up Bridget's reputation. Now, Bridget's reputation, she is known as the Untouchable Queen. She's technically a 3rd year, but she hasn't been promoted because of an incident that happened that does get addressed in the show, for anyone who's wondering. And so, but anyways, her title is the Untouchable Queen. Let's just say his sister complex makes her lose that title in the first fucking episode. This is one of the major complaints I have with this show. You know how animes have this bad tendency of setting up badass characters from the beginning of the show? That's what Freezing does, and then fucks that up in the first fucking episode. I call bullshit on that. So you're probably wondering how the rest of the series is going. The rest of the series is literally those 2 building a relationship and performing what is called their baptism. There's a lot of random religious references, like even the fucking chairman of the school is a fucking nun, for God's sakes. But yeah, I don't know. Praise Jesus and behold the fucking fan service, random violence, and murdering of young teenage girls. That's the type of school I want to go to. So pretty much, as I've explained, is that, you know, and this is what really is probably the worst thing about the series. The series is set up. It's like the plot's, you know, okay. It's very cliched in some sense, but it's okay. And the freaking first, like, 6 episodes are literally fights and tiny splashes of character development between 2 characters, mind you. It's a school full of these fucking girls, and they only focus on Bridget and Aoi. They occasionally mention maybe 2 other girls, but the only girls they really talk about consecutively is Bridget and Lana when she first comes in here. Now, they explain who Lana is. She doesn't come in until like episode 5 or 6. Pretty much, the reason why I say she's part of the harem is for something very simple. She comes from like this village in Tibet, and she's very skilled. But there's like the way they don't really, you know how they have the little foreign characters who don't address the normal things we know about the show in their light. They address it in the native light. So they don't call the things that aren't back stigma, they call them tears and some shit. And pretty much things happen, and she feels like that Aoi is the one destined to be her limiter. Now you're probably thinking, if he's with Bridget, how the hell can this be a harem? It should just be simple. Well, here's the thing. Bridget comes off as a cold bitch in the beginning of the series, but what the problem we find out is the Untouchable Queen, Aoi, to be honest with you, is the first person to touch her. And it's because she has 2 sides to her. The first side is this cold, demonic looking fucking version of her that everybody and their grandma is afraid of. And then she has like this nerdy, cute side that we only occasionally see. And it's mainly when Aoi Kazuya comes around. Also, to become a Rainbow set, you have to perform what is called a baptism, like I've explained before. We don't really know what a baptism is, but from what we hear in one of the episodes is that it's something somewhat sexual, I'm assuming. It's implied anyway. And she having an issue with people touching her and perversion, which is actually explained in her backstory. She's not really a fan of that, so that's why I can get away with being a harem. But one of the biggest complaints is not only the fact that the first 6 episodes are like fucking just random ass fights with splashes of character development between 2 fucking characters, but as the series progresses, you get plot. But the only real good thing about the series, the only really good developed character throughout the entire series is Bridget. You're thinking, oh, the main male, he must be cool. Listen, he comes off as a bitch in the first episode. He gets better. But he doesn't grow at all. Like, you don't see him change as a character. Because, like, if you look at him in the beginning of the series, look at him at the end of the series, Nothing changes. Nothing. He's the same damn person after experiencing all this. Bridget is the only fucking character that have any type of emotional or mental changes within her. That also goes into a spoiler also. It's just fucking stupid. And what makes it worse is that the 12th episode tries to make it come full circle and make it act like a normal TV show. They try to go all extremes with every genre it is. So they try to go extreme harem, they try to go extreme gore, they try to go extreme romance on like every fucking level in the 12th episode. The final canon episode, they try to do everything. And the problem is that since they dicked around with the first fucking 11 episodes, it feels rushed and you don't feel the connection. This is an example of a series, a mediocre series, who tries to force it into excellence. It tries to force its way into excellence or into good graces, and it fails miserably. Is it a bad show? No, it's not. It's watchable. But for me personally, when that fucking dub release comes out, I'm not really gonna be looking forward to fucking just going off the bat and buying it. Personally, not me, because it's not really a show to me that was worth the merit to rewatch. It's not. That doesn't make it a shitty ass show. But personally, if I had to give it a grade, I'd give it like a D. Let me rephrase that. It had a C until the 12th episode. And the 12th episode kicked it to a D. And then the OVA kicked it to a D-. But I don't really count the OVA because it's an OVA. The reason why I say the OVA kicks it into a D- because the OVA is 3 minutes and actually tries to come off as a normal, basic harem. And it's annoying as fuck because the series wasn't like that. And if you want a good description of there's really no spoilers for a supposed OVA. It's not really spoilerish. It's 3 minutes. All it is there's a lot of like panty flashing scenes because of the transformation from using her Volt weapons. Their clothes change somewhat or the weapons appear somewhere on their body. Well, the fucking OVA amounts to fucking Bridget trying to go into her Volt weapon and sneezing, and we find out apparently that Pandora's, when they have colds, their shit doesn't work and their clothes disappear, because that's how it is. Like, their clothes can reform when they use their Volt weapons, or disappear when they reuse their Volt weapons. So her fucking clothes come off, and Aoya's like, what the fuck? And for whatever reason, Aoya's already beat up for whatever reason. I don't know what the fuck happened. And it just becomes this sexuality contest. Lana joins in and Ganesha joins in. That's it. And it's even worse because yes, there's a hint of a second season for any of you fans. But me personally, the series gets about I'll be nice. I'll be fucking nice. I would give it just a straight D. It'll be nice because it was enjoyable on some levels, and it is a decent series. I'll give it a C-. Personally, if you like shit along the lines of Sekirei, or maybe even Ikitosen for that matter, this is about a mix in between those two. It's alright, but it's annoying, but it's really slow paced. I'm not even joking. The half of the damn series is slow paced, but when you get to the plot points and you get to Bridget's past, that shit was nice. But everything else, it's just like, kill me now with a knife, because it's like, what the fuck is going on? It's worse. And the main thing that pisses me off is the opening is beast, the ending of it is beast, and I actually do like the characters. You know, the two that they actually focus on, and you know, maybe the other two that are like sub characters, 2 or 3 that are sub characters. Those are fine, but they don't develop any of the other characters. It meant that even the girls she randomly fights with, they don't develop them at all. They're just there. It's like, oh, they're sort of part of a clique. Because she ends up finding like a whole bunch of 3rd years, and she's a 2nd year, and it's like showing her merit. It's just a whole bunch of dumb shit. Also, just to know, for anyone who's wondering what the fuck is called freezing, the whole point of the limiters is they have an ability called freezing, and what freezing does is pretty much restrict movement within the area of space. This actually seems like a really late point in the review to mention that, but I figured someone probably would want to know. But this is, as you can tell, this is kind of a new style reviewing. If this is cool, this is cool. If it's not, it's not. Let me know in the comment section below. Link to... I can't even link... No, I'll take it back. I'll link the Funimation site where you can watch it. I'll also link the press release that tells you that Freezing has gotten a license. And fuck, give me your damn opinions on the damn show. Because personally, to me, it would have been alright if they hadn't just bullshit to me. But that's just me, though. That's just me. There are no spoilers, obviously. So, life's a game. Play to win. I'm done. I'll see you guys later. Freezing. This show gave me the cold shoulder.